Hey guys, Buster Green here, and today I'm going to review one of the biggest anime fighting games of the past decade, and that's Jump Force. If you had told me in the year 2020 that there had been a game called Jump Force, the hardcorest anime fighting game ever created, with all the good animes from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and today, fighting it out head-to-head in a Smash Brothers but 3D style fighting game, when I first heard about this game, I was so psyched about it. Because there have been all these badly reviewed Naruto Ninja games, which I haven't played since the GameCube, all these DBZ fighting games, which are usually okay, and now there's new My Hero Academia fighting games, which I just don't care enough about to buy. There's also JoJo fighting games, but I hear they're really obscure and kind of hard, and it's hard to introduce them to my friends. So what I want is just all the characters in one game, and here it is. Everyone could finally get what they wanted, and we could all get along. But then the game finally came out and the reviews were a disaster. I was broke at the time, so I decided I can't afford this, so I just put it off. Now, a few years later, Jump Force kept being kept alive on an IV drip of DLC to try and keep it just afloat enough to keep it from sinking. Some of the new DLC characters were pretty good, and a couple of them were kind of questionable, like, did anyone really care about that cat lady from Bleach all that much? And trying to shoehorn in Fortnite's retarded skins to make money model. I'm not a fan of the sales model. It's just way too elitist, and it makes some people feel like they're rich assholes, and it makes other people feel like, you know, they're poor and sad because they can't get like the jumpsuit they want. Anyway, so finally a few weeks ago, with less and less people playing this game every day, now more than ever, it was announced that come February of next year, 2020, Jump Force is going to be taken out behind the barn, and it's going to get a bullet in the back of its head, and you won't be able to buy it anymore. The DLC will all disappear, and even if you have the game, you won't be able to buy the DLC unless you buy it before this date of February. Although apparently the game will still run with all its online components for another couple of months after that, until August of 2022, this upcoming summer. And at that point, the server will finally be shut down for good. And then after that, August 2022, the multiplayer lobby will be completely shut down, resulting in no more clans, no more leaderboards, no more ranking. The ability to buy those stupid expensive skins shut down. No more ability to accept or claim online rewards. And yeah, that's kind of a bunch of the game's core features just gone forever. Now, with all this good news happening, and to be excited for, Jump Force exploded this year onto Black Friday of 2021 with an up to 91% discount on both Steam and Nintendo Switch. Ideally, I would have preferred to get it on PS5 since that apparently is the version that actually runs the best, but I decided, what am I going to do? So I got the Switch version because as of today, the PS5 version is still fucking $90. $90? Are you insane? This game has no future. So yeah, anyway, I choked up and bought the Switch version for a happy little $12, plus another $5 for all the DLC. Which at first I wasn't gonna do, but then I decided to do it because I wanted to play as Giorno Giovanna, who is fucking $6 to buy just for him. So it was actually somehow insanely cheaper to buy the entire season pass on the Black Friday sale than to just buy Giorno by himself. It took me a little while to finish this video because I wanted to beat the game before I put it out. So the sale has now come and gone, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be another sale with Christmas coming up. And you can always just get the game physically pretty cheap just the same if you absolutely want it. So that brings us to the huge question of this video, Jump Force, now or never? And by the way guys, literally the entire time I've been working on this video, since the time I got this game at Black Friday, the whole Toei versus Toei mark situation has played out from start to finish. And that has put an unfortunate stain and bad atmosphere over the entire DBZ and One Piece characters who headline this game. It has also enraged the YouTube anime community who will likely give a damn about this video. Now, my heart completely goes out to Mark as a fellow Irish anime YouTuber, But if I'm being real, they both have blood on their hands. Now, Toei has way more blood and way larger hands, and is definitely the wronger of the two parties, going around acting like Nazis, ignoring international free trade laws, as well as falsifying several videos on Mark's channel that had zero content they owned. And no one likes it when a massive international conglomerate singles out a single little guy to fuck with. But Mark isn't 100% innocent either, because he definitely used too many of Toei's anime clips in his videos, and yeah, that sucks. I've been there. When I was a younger man, I used to make really scathing comedy videos where I would do review roasts of the Pet Shop Boys and just trash all their music videos, which have all been sent down to the bottom of YouTube hell, and those videos are just far too complicated to ever attempt to remake, because the whole point of those videos was I was criticizing the original music videos. I mean, look at these two losers. They're great musicians, but they look like they haven't bathed. They look like they're both high. They look like they're totally lost trying to cosplay as Doctor Who. And the fact of the matter is that if Mark is really trying to make a living as a YouTuber, then he's got to clean up his work. He just can't use anime clips like the way he's used them right now. Or fuck, just re-up them without the videos of podcasts. I don't know if I really need to break all this down for you guys. Let me know in the comments. It's a really complicated case where I just think no one involved is really in the right, and if I can, I prefer to use my time to talk about things I think are cool and make me happy, and not the mistakes of men in other countries. Oh, and I guess this is going to kind of influence people to boycott the game, but again, call me out if I'm wrong, but I think this game isn't made by Toei. It's made by Bandai Namco and Spike Chunsoft, and I think they paid Toei off to use the characters. Anyway, let's go back to focusing on Jump Force, which I have to point out is a video game based strictly on the manga Shonen Jump and completely ignores any of the animes that these manga were made into, aside from the fact that they uses most of the same voice actors because people appreciate that. So Jump Force is the first of the Shonen Jump Smash Bros. Crossover clones to make it to the United States, and it's also a significant console evolution / mutation of them. So to explain that, 20 years ago, Smash Bros. Brawl comes out on the Wii, and Brawl is good and all, but people wanted Smash Bros. On the then popular Nintendo DS, and Nintendo at that time says nope. So Shonen Jump barges in with all their Jump characters like Goku, and puts together Jump Superstars, the only Smash clone ever made for DS. It had Goku, it had Naruto starring in it. Enough said, it was good. Also, apparently looking into it, since anime was actually popular enough by then, the game got a very limited American release, albeit with no English translation because the game really didn't need one. Although this release was strictly in Southern California because the Nintendo DS had no region locks. Now, original Jump Superstars was a hardcore Smash clone. Hardcore in the best kind of way. All the stages were just ripped off of Smash. It added some borders that you could smash through. And the only big difference between Smash and Jump Stars was, you know how you had assist trophies in Smash Bros. Brawl? Well, in Jump Stars, they were assist comic panels. But you also had to build a dedicated set of them for your fighting style. But this was so effing cool because you could summon the characters you wanted whenever you wanted. And the panels could give you some pretty wild stats and effect boosts. The character lineup is super 2005 though, like for example, there's not one but two characters from 2005's favorite freaking show, Anyway, Jump Superstars was such a huge hit that 2 years later, a slightly improved sequel called Jump Ultimate Stars came out, which featured all the Naruto characters aged up into their new Shippuden designs, which was very cool in 2007. Additionally, 17 brand new characters were added since the focus this time was more characters, more chaos. I'm also going to credit this game for getting me to watch the disappointing anime Devil Detective Neuro, who came off really, really cool in this game, but he's disappointing because when I actually watched this anime, he's a fucking racist. He has this racist grudge against all non-Japanese foreigners, and that hit me too close to home because I personally had to put up with that kind of racism when I lived in Japan. And now I can't fucking stand it, so fuck you, Noro. But hey, at least got me to watch Gintama and Buso Rankin, and Rankin was fucking awesome. Also, a quick shout out to my boy Gintoki, who waited in line all night to buy a Wii. I really should make a video about how that's the best episode of Gintama. And for all those reasons, I love Jump Stars. Quite frankly, both of those games still hold up. If you're really rich, you might be better off tracking down an old copy of Jump Ultimate Stars over Jump Force, because that's the better game. It doesn't have a story like Jump Force does, but ironically enough, Jump Force as a sequel to Jump Stars is the incorrect answer to all the small problems Jump Ultimate had. Somehow, it twists them all around and creates a much worse experience. So, let's talk about Jump Force. After a fucking brutal 3-hour long intro cutscene / tutorial / character creation clusterfuck, Jump Force dumps you into this game's horrible, ridiculous lobby. The lobby makes sense for multiplayer, but not at the scale of it. It is this ridiculous, gigantic stadium-like facility, complete with an elaborate underground sewer system where the Ninja Turtles live, and some loopy-doopy connecting tunnels that are so extremely hard to navigate, extremely slow to walk through, and I just fucking hate this. I hate this so much. I hate that there's not a quick option menu to literally just jump around this thing or like teleport. Like, literally, when you turn the game on, you spawn at a random miserable part of the stadium, and you just have to walk through fucking miles of it. They make you parade around this bullshit fake overall stadium like it's meant to be something, but it's not. It's just a menu where you have to walk a mile to access the other parts of the menu. There are these fake AI people walking around it, and if you play online, they get replaced by real people who are again clustered together in a way that just make things constantly hard to utilize. Now, in the central room of the stadium, there are the multiplayer online options. That's where they live. There's also some stands set up for the in-game missions and the event missions if those ever happen. Otherwise, there's 3 stations set up for Team A, B, and C, which are Luffy, Naruto, and Goku's teams. I'll explain those better when I do the story breakdown, but for now, just be aware that sometimes big story events happen there, but otherwise there's nothing to do there, so they're just there to be a waste of space. There's also a copy of the Mission Select stand in each of those areas. Oh, and the Mission Select menu is literally just a list of missions sorted into 5 categories. Free missions, important missions for character development, and key story missions. I do not remember what the other 2 categories were because I don't think I ever clicked on them. They were just trash. In another example of the game's horrible UI, the game is all about building up this custom character, and it leads you to 3 boring normal costume shops that just let you pay way too much money for the game's in-game items, which are dress-up bad cosplays of Goku, Luffy, and Naruto. And I guess if you're playing as a female character, you make gender swap versions of them. But there's a much better secret costume shop hidden on the completely ignorable north corner of the map. You need to go there to get any of the good costumes, and it took me literally weeks to find this costume shop, pretty much by accident. The overall battle system of the game is really about judging the distances between anime laser attacks and kind of judging how much distance your attacks will cover. You can fill your custom character with any of the attacks you want and pretty much create an ultimate character. For myself, I started out with Naruto's Rasengan, which has a really good mid-range coverage since your character has to run around to use it. None of the AI opponents even think about dodging until around the end of the game when you reach about level 35. So that's a really good coverage move for like the start of the game and pretty much all the way through it in my case. Next on my fighting card was Lord Frieza's Death Beam. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but because it can hit pretty much anyone on the field at any point in the field, it's my long range shot and ended up being critical to killing off enemies who had a sliver of health left and who were just dodging me like assholes. Now, finally for my close range attack, honestly I fucked up on that one. I started off, because I'm a massive Fist of the North Star fan, with the Hokuto Hatsuretsuken, because I thought, I would fucking punch people to death and like watch them explode. But unfortunately that move in this game sucks because it's just too close range a move. and the character using it has to do a stupid flippy dippy pose before it comes off. So it ends up being a bad range move that's just slow as hell. It took me a while to consider my options and figure out how to replace it, but it took me a very hard time to find a decent alternative. I ended up just replacing it with another attack that looked like the Hatsuretsuken, but wasn't literally it, and it came off much faster, so it was more functional. Finally, for my finisher attack, I used All Might's United States of Smash, which was a close range but thankfully unavoidable, pretty devastating attack that guaranteed a 100 hit combo if it connected. And since it guaranteed that 100 hit combo, it was very useful for clearing combo challenges. And it was American as hell, so I thought it was funny. I'm also going to go on a side tangent here and say that I had a horribly hard time getting the hang of Ryo Saiba from City Hunter. At first in the game, I really wanted to use him because I'm personally a fan of City Hunter, but his fighting style is actually gun-based, and that makes him a completely unique character that's completely different from any other character in the game. But after a bunch of fucking times when I tried him out, it finally clicked with me that his style is kind of like about dodging and taking shots, and once I got that, he became a god tier character, so go get him, City Hunter. Have your Mokoi time. By the way, I have to say, I played the game on the Switch, and the Switch is definitely not the best console to play it on. It didn't play perfectly on the Switch, it played okay. If I played the game undocked, it played great, and it looked okay. Now, on the other hand, when I played the game docked, it looked much better, but the lag got way worse. And the lag on the loading screen seemed horrendous when I played the game docked. Whereas when I played it undocked, it just seemed a lot better. So, that's another game I've encountered on the Switch that plays significantly different docked versus undocked. I wanted to play it docked because it looked better, but I ended up mostly playing it undocked because of the lag issue. I wish I could have played it on the PS5 because that version supposedly did not have the lag issue, but that game cost 9 times as much, and you know, I'm sorry, I just can't choke up $90 for a fucking trash game like this. Don't do it, guys. It's not worth it. So now I have to talk about the worst part of this, in my opinion, which I was hoping was going to be the best part of it, but it wasn't, and that's the story. So like I was saying, Jump Force is an evolution of Jump Ultimate, and the biggest criticism people had about Jump Ultimate was it was a straightforward Smash clone, and like the early versions of Smash Brothers, it had no story. And goddamn it, people wanted a fucking story. They wanted an amazing crossover story where all these fucking anime people were in the same room, putting together some kind of plan to fight all their villains and save the world. And that brings us to the horrible story of Jump Force. It's a very bland, better than nothing story mode about an interdimensional crash where these original bad guys called the Venoms, who are literally just the custom avatars but with dark auras, and some forgettable guy in glasses shows up who gets all the heroes together, and the heroes form these 3 strike teams based on Goku, Luffy, and Naruto's 3 different fighting styles. Not their animes, but their fighting styles. So we get a couple of interesting swap outs on the different team sides, like Boruto hates his dad so much that he teams up with Monkey D. Luffy. And there are a couple of original bad guys who have this vague aura of, we're original bad guys, so we could kind of work in any anime, but honestly, they're DBZ villains. They have vague traits of the other animes, but they have way too much DBZ flavor and nothing else, if I'm being honest. Like, one guy just straight up looks like Cell if he had absorbed Nappa. And then the final boss is this loser named Prometheus.
Oh no, Prometheus!
Who again is just a naked, creepy blue copy of Cell from Dragon Ball. A lot of the story in Jump Force is conveyed in these lame text-only explanations. None of them inspire any kind of like ooh or ahs. It just, because honestly, none of them are animated. A major chunk of this game is just the biggest names in anime standing coldly dead, not moving in an office room, being like, this happened. Let's go over here. Oh, we need to fight somebody. Oh, and I should probably clarify that at this point in the game, Jump Force is unfortunately barely about the animes and barely about the crossover battles. The actual focus of the story of the game is about your original made-up main character hero, who if you shill enough money for it can be Toga from My Hero Academia because Fortnite skins. But it's a really bad hodgepodge hero. It just has a bunch of weird physical traits and costumes from the more interesting heroes. So it kind of sucks. I mean, the only thing I can say good about the crossover matches in this game is, from my personal takeaway, it seems that whoever made this game had some sort of massive respect for Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho. Because all the good stories in this game seemingly only revolve around Yusuke and his abnormal interactions with other similar paranormal afterlife anime. Like, how does Yusuke get along with characters from Bleach? He doesn't. Or, how does Yusuke, a demon hunter, square off against a magical demon like Majin Buu? Spoilers, he can't. Also, there are a bunch of super fucking lame, boring missions where Goku, Vegeta, Deku, All Might, and Naruto just do non-stop, needless shonen anime training because what else would they do? It's not fun, it's not interesting, it's like, we're all in a room together, we're gonna work out. Oh, and there's also an unusual character spotlight on Sanji from One Piece because some drama goes down with him. But aside from that, none of the other characters in this game get fucking shit in terms of character development. Well, I guess that's not completely true. There's one more character we need to talk about. Yagami Laito. Okay, so unfortunately there's a looming threat in Jump Force. And that is the team's accountant slash water boy, Death Note main character slash edgelord, Yagami Light. He's got no superpowers. He doesn't tell anyone that he's one of history's greatest serial killers, but the main character knows who he is, and only the main character can see that he's being followed around by the Death God Ryuk. Now, he's completely harmless in this game since he doesn't have his Death Note, and on a fun note, the main bad guys have their own magical notebook that doesn't kill people, but I guess it causes all these dimensional crossovers, and I guess Yagami wants to steal it. So nonetheless, he's like one Death Note away from flipping out and going, I am God! I will kill everyone! Unfortunately, he's the fucking biggest red herring in this entire game. In fact, he's such a fucking red herring that this was one of the main factors that actually made me take the jump and decide to buy this game. Take the jump. But yeah, when I bought this game, I thought, oh, Light is too big a deal. They wouldn't just throw him in here for no reason. He's gotta take over the world or boss around Frieza or do some other crazy shit. But no, they just threw him fucking in here for no fucking reason because they had him. It's the worst depiction of Yagami Light I've ever seen. Cough, cough. And I'm serious about that. Because this version of Light fucking sucks. I mean, he knows if he even tries to murder like one person, Goku, All Might, and Luffy are gonna just be punching his organs into like 3 separate solar systems. So the entire time he's just off in a corner, wringing his hands, being like, my plans are so excellent. No one suspects me of doing anything, because I haven't done it yet. But if I find me some Mane, mark my words, I'm going to kill everyone here, and then their families, and then the entire population of Africa, and then everyone who double dips their nachos into my dipping sauce, and then I shall become Kami of the New World again. But seriously, this is the biggest disappointment in the Death Note fan community since the Netflix movie. And it's actually worse than that. Because at least the Netflix movie was a bad American turd, an example of the massive misunderstanding Hollywood has about anime, plus the differences dynamics between men and women in Japan versus men and women in the USA. But here, this is just fucking nothing! Like, there's one fucking moment where Light briefly switches to the villain's team to be their accountant too, and I was like thinking, oh, he's finally going to do something evil. He's finally going to start killing people. But nope, he doesn't do shit. I was really hoping they could just put Light in the game as another JoJo-style stand user and just made Ryuk his fucking stand. Then I could have at least seen All Might punch him in the face, finally. There were some rumors floating around that since this game was essentially on an IV drip of DLC, there might have been a third and final round of DLC where we might have satisfactorily resolved the fucking Light being a malicious genius subplot, or otherwise cleared up why he was an accountant or why he changed sides briefly, just to see what the bad guys were doing. Potentially they would have added Light as a DLC character and some of the other dropped name characters like Misa or maybe Himiko Toga, because fuck it, she was already being teased. But that just never happened because this whole game is just too crappy for that. Whatever, it should have happened in the main story. That's not something you trust in DLC. And speaking of which, the final fucking boss, big stupid blue cell, whatever the fuck he is,
Prometheus.
it ends up being the single hardest fight in the game, considering this entire fucking game revolves around judging the distance between fucking famous anime laser attacks. But the final boss here fucks up everything by making you fight him in a single round where he has anime laser attacks and you don't. Yeah, the whole fucking game teaches you to strategize and utilize all these fucking anime laser attacks, and then when you get to the final fucking boss, he has this nightmarish handicap edge over you by disabling literally all of your attacks, and then you can only fight him with your weak basic punches like a little bitty baby, and that's a fucking nightmare. It took me fucking 2 fucking days to win this fight. And most of the time while I was doing that, I was just straight up button mashing, not even looking at the screen because I knew I was gonna lose. I streamed the entirety of all 12 episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean while I just button mashed through this game, and the boss beat me over and over again while I got teeny tiny amounts of EXP from losing, and I leveled up nearly 10 fucking levels from where I was at when I got to the boss to where I was at, to the point where I could finally punch him so hard that he fucking died. And then the game just fucking ends with the bare bones of a fucking ending. But it was trash, man. It was so trash. So that brings me back to the main central question of this review. Jump Force, now or never? So let me boil this down to a couple of different categories for you, the viewer of this video. Do you want a cool looking video game where all the anime people fight each other? Buy Jump Force now. Do you like Yu Yu Hakusho and want to see some awesome Yusuke Urameshi action? Do you want to see Yusuke humiliate the cast of Bleach? If you like Yusuke, buy the game. Do you like online fighters, 3D fighters? Do you like Shonen Jump? Do you want to collect this one before it disappears? Buy the game, you'll have an okay time with it. But if you want a competent crossover story, you're going to be so disappointed. You're not going to be satisfied at all. And if you're a huge fan of Death Note like I am, do not expect satisfaction, because this is worse than the Netflix movie. If you're a fan of any of these other anime featured in this game, if you like Dragon Ball, if you like Naruto, if you like One Piece, these shows headline this game, but seriously, I feel like the only characters in this game who got any fucking character development at all were just fucking Yusuke and Sanjay. All the other characters like Goku, Kenshin, Kenshiro, Naruto, Jojo, Boruto, forget it, man. They're in this game, but they don't factor into the story at all. They're just there to fucking sell the game. And considering this game fucking sold itself on its story, the story is such a piece of crap, so I don't know. I don't regret buying this game because I only paid $10 for it, but it was barely worth that $10. Nah, wait, I actually paid $17, but it felt like $10. I don't know. Anyway, final review time. Jump Force. Hard 5 out of 10. Because it had some good stuff, but it had a lot of bad stuff too. And that's only if you pay $10 for it like I did. They had years to fix this game, but it's fucking fundamentally broken. Cons, the game's loading time kind of ruins it. But that was only a problem because I played it on the Switch. If you play it on the PS5, that's not an issue. But the game's story is frustrating and uninspired, and the game introduces a bunch of new characters that are just annoying wastes of spaces. It introduces 3 whole playable, annoying new characters that, could have just been like Yagami Light and, I don't know, Toga. The final battle in story mode is annoying, broken bullshit. The game's UI is spread out over this monotonous, nightmarish stadium that takes so fucking long to navigate. It takes like a fucking day to walk across this thing. The only thing positive I can say is the character lineup is almost perfect. I just wish they would have had Light, Kentucky, and Bobobo. And the battles really do look really nice. I was actually really impressed when I actually played the game how clean they looked. The fighting system is pretty simple. Oh, and I completely forgot to bring this up, but I was actually really happy with the Times Square map because of the small but true to life details that you can see in this map. Like, what I really appreciate is that they nailed the Times Square McDonald's, where I've had a bunch of happy memories in my life, so, that put a smile on my face. Anyway, after you finish this game, there are a few extra DLC missions that can be okay. Also, they include a couple of missions for free where you fight the DLC characters. This is kind of a trick to trick you into seeing how good they are and to make you want to buy them. And I gotta admit, this actually tricked me and won me over. So I bought the entire DLC season pass just to get Giorno Giovanna. There was also another DLC pack that just came with the game for free that I didn't have to worry about. And I guess they keep doing these online events. I tried to opt into a few of them, but you actually have to buy the ability to play the online events with the fucking in-game currency that you have to earn from playing single player. So, fucking excuse me, but what the hell is that? You're telling me I have to grind in single player to play multiplayer limited events? No wonder this game died. That's too much fucking work, especially considering when I finally got into the event, I was immediately destroyed by a veteran player, and I feel like I threw my in-game money away, so fuck this game. No wonder it died. Alright, I'm Buster Green. This was my exhausting review of Jump Force. Honestly, now that I think about it all, I have a fucking headache and I kind of feel dizzy. Thank you for sticking out with me, guys. Maybe I'm just tired because I've been talking for like fucking 40 minutes straight about this trash game. Please subscribe. I could use it. Merry Christmas. Good night.